Hey you guys, it's Molly here with Design Loves Detail, and today we're going to talk about flooring. We're going to get a quick video made here before the new owners take over at the Flip House, so stay tuned. One of the questions I've been getting most frequently lately is about flooring, specifically like wood flooring and also LVP. Today I'm going to share a few hardwood floor options that I have used and show you how they look installed, because I think that's one of the hardest things for people is when you go into the store or the showroom and they have like a sample board, it's really hard to visualize that across your whole space, especially when you have a home like this, like in the Flip home. We did virtually the entire thing other than the bathrooms, laundry room in wood. So it was a lot of wood, and it's expansive when you have it going across the whole house like that. First thing is, when you are at the showroom, try and get the sample board, check it out, and take it to the space you're using it in. Even though it's not huge, it will still give you a better feel of how it goes in that actual space with the lighting, the wall color, that sort of stuff. That might be a given, but I always just like to remind people that as big a sample pieces as you can get, the better, and actually having it in the space really does make a difference. Secondly, I really think it's important to look at the tones that you have in your home. So when you are selecting that floor, think about, what furniture you have, maybe what your fireplace looks like, anything else, the cabinetry, things like that, fixed items, especially that will be in the room with the flooring, because you want to pick something that has similar undertones. So like if your furniture has warm wood tones, you want to probably go with a floor that also has some of the warmer tones so that it doesn't feel like they're clashing with each other. I'll show you an example here. In the Flip house, I did a gray wash floor, even though overall it feels just kind of like a natural wood. That gray wash just is kind of subtle, and it tied in with my cabinets because I have a white oak cabinet, as you can see here. So this is a slightly different color, but it's definitely in that same realm because they both have a slight gray wash over the wood. Even though the floor is actually a maple, it is in a similar color tone because of that gray wash. This flooring that we have in the Flip house is called Tan Leather is the color name, and it's by ABODE flooring. So it's a nice price point. It's a hardwood, an engineered hardwood. So you don't have to stain it. It comes stained and everything. And I think it's been really great. I haven't lived with it, of course, because it's in the Flip house, but in terms of how it looks, it's really pretty, and we have been getting a ton of questions on it. So there's the info for you guys that we have on both of those items. So definitely something to think about, the undertones and what you're going for. There's definitely some warmer wood options too. In our last home, we did HALLMARK SEASHELL. It is an oil finish floor. One thing to know about oil finish floors is they do have a little bit different maintenance. I've talked about this before, but just in case anybody missed that video, we do need to think about, the care for the floors and kind of how you guys live. If you have pets, sometimes that's something to think about too. One that I'll share later is really good for pets. The oil finish floors, they shouldn't have water on them. So if any of you guys have oil finish floors, a lot of times, unfortunately, even flooring distributors, some of them don't educate or even know sometimes exactly the care for each individual product because they have so many products that are available. But oil finish floors shouldn't have water on them, which is kind of quirky, but they have a beautiful finish that's more matte, and essentially the top layer, rather than being like a polyurethane, is an oil coating. So it does, protect from dirt, just that. The water, the whole thing of water and oil don't mix. So you don't want the water to remove any of that oil coating on the top. They have a specific cleaner for HALLMARK. It's called New Oil Cleaner. And what that does, instead of, using water to clean it, that oil layer just kind of like the cleaner kind of like recoats that oil layer. So when you are cleaning those floors, you just vacuum or sweep, get all the dust up, and then you use their cleaner just right on a terry cloth mop. We had those, and I loved them. They're beautiful, but it is different maintenance. And if you have pets, one that you might want to consider is another one from HALLMARK called Regatta Collection. And we used this is in our remodel home that we live in now. It's a great floor. It's called, the color name, what is it now? Starboard Hickory. So Starboard Hickory from the Regatta collection is what we used. And it is great because it has a waterproof core. So it's just a really thin top layer of hardwood with an amazing, really durable coating on the top it can have essentially, it does better with water because it's almost performs more like I'm gonna say laminate, but something that it almost performs a little differently than a typical hardwood even, with the way that it is so waterproof with the core. So we had a pool, we wanted to, you know, have something that would be okay if there ends up being water sitting on it. With pretty much any hardwood, ideally you don't have water sitting on it. But in this case, it is a really durable one and the finish on it is great. So that collection is a newer one and they have a bunch of really pretty colors as well. I looked at, let's see, they have some hickory and oak ones that are great if you're wanting a lighter medium tone in that collection as well. What I kind of try to do, like when I'm selecting floors, is I did do the really light ones last time, but I really love right now the more medium tones, the ones that are not quite so light and also not too dark. The dark ones, they really show dust and dirt, which drives me nuts. The medium is almost like they're closer to the color of dirt, and so when you aren't able to clean them as often, it doesn't show. If you guys have had really dark floors, you've probably seen how much it shows everything. And then even if you go really light, it can start to show stuff as well. So for me, it's kind of a happy spot to be in that medium to light, but not quite too light. So the tan leather and the Starboard hickory are both really good for that kind of medium realm. And Starboard hickory also is one that has a little bit more of a gray wash to it. So, you know, keep that in mind and then maybe look at their Spinnaker oak if you want something a little warmer. They have really a lot of options. So as far as flooring, that's kind of some of my favorites. Like I mentioned, I think in a previous video, I am gonna be doing an LVP from Hallmark in our next the flip house. I've worked with Hallmark a bunch of times, kind of partnered with them for some different things, and I've been really happy with their products. So I will be sharing that pretty soon. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell to be notified of those future videos. I have been asked a ton about the LVP, and so I'm excited to show you guys how this one looks installed, and I think it will really be a helpful one. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you got a few pointers on wood flooring, and then seeing some of those more up close gives you an idea of how they look installed. Then the new build, our house that we're building, we're finally getting really close. Everything is submitted, so we're getting close to starting that. So we'll be covering some of that process soon too. So love to have you subscribe and hit that bell to be notified of future videos. Check us out over on Instagram at DesignLovesDetail. Give us a comment and a like, and we'll see you next time.